Sorry, guys. Technical difficulties, but we are back. So, Ben, you were in the middle of something, my good man. So take it away, sir.
Welcome to episode 3. We apologize, like Drew said. This is the Hobby Hotline podcast. We're live this morning on YouTube and other platforms. Our host this week, John Newman from the Sports Card Nation, Drew Herndon from Let Me Get That Potograph, and myself, Ben Wilson from About the Cards. We're the Hobby's only live call-in show. Only live every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. Pacific. This morning, a few minutes late, 11 on the East Coast on YouTube and Periscope. You can follow us on Twitter at Hobby Hotline. We're also available as a podcast on iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher, Overcast, and TuneIn. How are you this morning, gentlemen?
Good. It's sunny here in Syracuse still. And so anytime we get sunny days in the Cuse, it's a good day.
It is. What's on your shirt? The Brooklyn Pickle. And do we want to know, John? Do we want to know?
You could draw your own conclusion, but I'll tell you what it really is. I'm from Brooklyn, but here in the Cuse we have a restaurant called it's a lunch place called the Brooklyn Pickle, and they make sandwiches that are similar to New York City style sandwiches. So it's a real popular place. I like to go to lunch there sometimes. So someone got me. When I was from Brooklyn, someone bought me the shirt. They thought I'd like it, which I do. So
that's awesome. I saw it and I was like, oh man, we're a G-rated show, brother.
So far, that could change.
It can, and knowing we got a New Yorker on the show, it doesn't surprise me if it did.
What's up, Johnny75? Thanks for tuning in, my man. Thanks for watching as always.
All right, well, let's get to it. What do we want to talk about? Do we want to talk about
I don't get this. I don't get a fancy introduction like John, like
show your
I'm just kidding. Let's get it right into it.
Okay, Drew, equal opportunity. What is on your t-shirt and how can we talk about it?
The greatest band alive, brand new. All right, we're done.
Let's talk about Greg Olson going to the Seahawks.
Oh, Jesus. No. All right. Next topic, please. Well, actually, I feel sorry for them. I mean, I love Greg Olson. What he did for Carolina was awesome. He meant a lot to the city. One of my favorite players. You guys know that. I appreciated what he did for the team, but he's old. He costs a lot of money still. He still thinks he has something left in the tank compared to Ian Thomas and the people we have. I don't think he does. I understand the move. It's one of those moves. It's never fun getting rid of a guy that your franchise loves. It's never fun. But the fact that he went to the Seahawks is quite humorous to me because I think he's going to be either injured or have a very subpar season. So it was nice having you, Greg, but good luck in Seattle.
Yeah, it happens. Yeah. Time to move on, and that your team is in transition anyway.
Big time.
What are you doing at quarterback? You don't have a need for a guy like Olsen at 34 costing $10 million. It's time to move on. But
yeah.
So yeah, what the Jesus. So yeah, we had some excitement this week. The Series 1
absolutely
tins dropped at Walmart. Last night I was at the store about 9:00 grabbing some diapers and stuff, and they were sold out. So I missed my opportunity to become an instant millionaire. These things are selling for three times over MSRP.
Are you serious? These tins right here.
The first ones popped on eBay for about $80. I don't think they sold for that. Their MSRP on the shelf is $14.98.
I know.
And I was roasting people all day yesterday on Twitter that were trying to get, I got 4 tins for $125, and it's just like, cut it out, man. Not everything has to be a flip opportunity.
Well, if our listeners or viewers would like me to here while we're discussing these tins, I'll open the damn tin and let you see what it's all about and make you guys see that paying over retail is absurd. And I'll even we'll even give away the Mike Trout empty tin to somebody.
Yeah, I mean, for those that don't know, literally you get 75 Series 1 base cards. You get 5 turkey red inserts. You get 5 turkey red chrome. And then the real big thing that you're getting that's not available in any other retailer or hobby release is you're getting just one
Yeah.
Decade's Best Chrome Parallel. That's it. So at $15, it's great. 75 base cards. If you bought 3 or 4 of these and opened them up, you might get pretty close to a base set.
Well, there goes my double value. But
oh my god,
I'll go buy the rest of them. Apparently at Walmart after the show. But I mean, let's while we're discussing these, let's see what this shit's all about, because that's absurd to me, which is a topic I want to touch on quite a bit today. But so about the tins, what's going on? What were these arguments being had about them? What do you think is making them so in such high demand with really no? The only thing I can think of, honestly, is what I said a while back, is that the Chrome Turkey Reds are going to be the sneaker, the sneaky thing of this set. I think people are going to want those Chrome Turkey Reds more than most. And that's really the only added value I see to it. I mean, a Mike Trout 10, like whoop-de-doo, Jude might like it eventually. If it had Cam Newton on it, he'd like it more. But I mean, I'm looking at it now. I mean, it's nothing special, but yeah, so what's up with these?
There are 6 tins available. You get Trout, Bellinger, Betts, Guerrero, and then I forget what the other 2 guys are. They're 6 total tins, and they're nice. They're collectible, but if tins aren't your thing, if you're just like, for me, strictly a card collector, I mean, I would have grabbed one if there was an Oakland A on it. I'll be serious,
right?
But outside of the collectability of the tin itself and the Decade's Best Chrome, which might net you the exact cost, I bought a McGuire yesterday for $6. For somebody that sells on sport lots that can move the Turkey Reds and stuff and might be able to recoup their money, yeah, there might be a little bit. But if you're looking at this and saying, oh, this is no different than optic basketball, prison basketball,
right,
or even Topps Chrome baseball.
Well, I'm about to tell you, as I look through this Trout tin, if anybody wants any of these tins, let me know. I will not charge you the eBay prices, but keep going.
No, that's basically it. I mean, unless you're getting a parallel of the turkey red, green parallel out of 10 or blue out of 50. Yeah, I mean, I'm in the market. I still need a Henderson and a Catfish Hunter Chrome. Those might be something that are kind of under the radar, just because you got to open the tin to get those Chromes. So those might be hard inserts to chase, but come on, if you're selling them for $40 each, get the hell out of here. And I was roasting a bunch of dudes on Twitter yesterday that were selling, and it's just like, dude, we're going to keep going, and I'm going to keep going until you end up blocking me, because it's just ridiculous. I went to Walmart last night for diapers and a couple of other things that we needed, right? Some coffee creamer. Why should my first instinct be, honey, I'm going to go over and empty the shelf into my cart? If there was 10 of them on there, $150, I'm going to resell them for what? $300 minus fees and everything. I'm going to put maybe $50 in my pocket, but now I got to deal with all the hassle and potential returns. And for what? The guy yesterday on Twitter is like, I bought them so that I can get them in the hands of people that want them that might not have them. And I'm like, what about Jim and Steve that walked in right after you that wanted them from your store? Leave them there.
They wanted to pay regular price.
He's the Robin Hood of Topps tins.
He is. And it was cracking me up. And the more he was going, the more I was having fun with it. And it's one of those things like, listen, not everything's a flip opportunity. If people are like, well, as an economist, aren't you for capitalism? Yeah. Not in my hobby, though. It's a hobby. It's just for collecting.
Yeah.
Well, if they're cleaning the shelves out of these Topps at $15, it's actually a great price. When you think about the hanger boxes themselves, it's about the price point. So I will probably buy a couple if I'm in Walmart at $15 just to open them for sure. But people are clearing the shelves off of them. I don't know. Did Topps make a Zion like taking batting practice with like a major league team jersey? Remember when they did that with Eric Lindros did a crossover baseball?
Yeah.
So unless it's something like that, I just don't know why the double triple
We'll find out in just a minute if this tin was worth anything. And 1 Million Cubs Project, my man, he's just wanting to let everybody know he is going around searching, and they are available for the low price of $40.
But wait,
and 1 million Cubs, if you want them, I can get them for you if you can't find them.
Feel like Billy Swift, but wait,
yeah, there's more.
I mean, if I went to you, Drew, and said, "Listen, I want a couple of the tins because I want to open them," right?
Yeah.
And like I said, my local Walmart was cleaned out last night, and I said, "I'll pay you $25 a piece." What that does is, there's no money being made whatsoever, right? Because you're gonna have to ship it to me, which is about $7 or $8 plus your time. I mean, you're literally doing this as a favor to me.
Right.
You're not making anything. Even at $30, you might put $5 in your pocket. And that's what I told the guy. I was like, listen, there are easier and better ways to make a $5 bill. Don't be an ass. Just don't. Leave it for somebody else. He's like, well, what if somebody else wants to clear it out? Okay, then now we're just talking about it's just a race to who can be who can capitalize on capitalism quickest. It's like,
okay, well, that leads me exactly into something I wanted to discuss as I slowly roll through this pack where I got a Keno base so far. But, you talk about this product being cleared on the shelves, and 1 Million Cubs just said sorry, dude, I apologize. I do not remember your name. That's totally my fault.
That's Bo.
All right, Bo. Bo, as he said, he'll have him for double as he goes hunting later. But when it comes to this retail trend of people going and buying out the shelves of all the stores, like the day the distributor gets there, it's a very hot button issue these days between collectors. I mean, it's almost like Republicans and Democrats almost, it seems sometimes. The other people are calling them scum. The people that say that it's wrong are saying that they're scum for feeling that way. I mean, it just feels like a political debate in card rooms these days when it has to do with retail on the shelves. And viewers watching, please call in. I've posted the link right here. I'm going to be posting it again here shortly. I would love to hear your guys' opinion on this. Anyone watching the show that does have the link, please post it in the comments. I would absolutely love. What's up, Don? I'd love to have you guys call in and give your opinion on this. But guys, what do you feel about, people, let's say Walmart hunting, Target hunting, doing this stuff and then going and selling it, on the secondary market? Like, is that something that you have a problem with? I don't know if I'm about to spark a political debate among our members, but it's something I'm curious about because I see all this stuff, but I never see reasoning. I never see like an explanation. It's always shortened into well under 140 characters or 2 really poorly worded comments on Facebook. So now that we actually have some people here with some real discussion and hopefully some callers that are calling in now when I post this link, that we get, some actual discourse here. But what do you feel about stuff like that?
Well, Drew, as you know, we kind of talked about this the other day. I've done both. I'm not going to lie or come out here and be a hypocrite. I've done both. I've done where I've bought out a display, and then there's other times where it was a product that was hot, and I left half. Why? I don't know. Just was, in that kind of mood that day. I don't think there's a problem if you buy. I mean, it's free enterprise. They're for sale. It's like I said last week, that there's pre-orders. If you really want a product, I'm a pre-orderer too. So I'll go on to one of the, I won't mention names, but one of the wax sellers and pre-order something I want to, open up. But I don't think I don't get mad if I see someone buy the whole shelf. I mean, I might be disappointed. I didn't get any, or but there's also more than one store. And we have around here we have some stores that the cards are not quick movers like that. So sometimes you just run into those. That's just my take on it.
Yeah.
But I think, go ahead.
No, Ben. What did you have anything to add on this? Because I've got a couple of things I'd like to say.
Just real quick, because I've been very vocal on Twitter about this. I mean, yeah, like John said, it's free enterprise. It's capitalism at its finest. It's the American dream, right? If we can, if you're walking down the street, would you pick up a $5 bill if you saw one on the ground? Absolutely, right? But it's one of those things. The morals and the integrity of, if you don't really want it, it's a hobby, right? We shouldn't have to turn our hobby and bastardize it into some kind of a flip.
Exactly. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm sick and tired of everybody trying to turn this into an opportunity to make a $5 bill off of a fellow collector. I can't tell you how many people I have in my network, the same people that are in your networks, that will literally send us cards because they're going home, right? If I open up a pack of football right now and I pull out a Panther and a Steeler, and it's not going to go towards my set, and it's not something that I'm PCing, I go, hey, Drew, hey, John, would you guys like me to send you this? I'm not going to ask you guys for shipping. I'm just going to say, hey, if I don't already have your address, give it to me, and I'm going to drop it in the mail, because that's the right thing to do. It helps the hobby grow. I'm getting these cards home.
No, it 100% is, and I completely agree with that. But I want to look at, let's say, the other side of the spectrum for a minute. So, okay, obviously right now we're talking about, when they first hit the shelves. Well, I went to my Walmart yesterday. We got 2 blasters of Optic. You guys know how Optic is every year. It doesn't restock much. It will not be restocked much whatsoever. And so I actually have coming on Monday, 48 retail boxes. I ordered 2 cases, but I paid well above aftermarket pricing. And about 95% of the people selling stuff in these bulk lots are paying aftermarket pricing now. Now, I understand the people, someone had to get those, if they're holding a retail display out where it's got 8 blasters, 10 hangers, and 4 megas. We know that they went to Walmart and got it. We know that's what they did. But those other people that are paying that extra bit of money, I see them a completely different way, but it seems the hobby is, once again, it's just pure laziness, but people would rather just lump everybody into one, and that's not all what it was. Like, I posted some cards up the other day, some cellos, and I got this dude attacking me saying how they were so much more expensive than retail. And then I showed him the receipt, and I was like, yeah, well, my receipt was so much more than retail. I was making $1.50 per cello pack on 10. I was doing it just to help some people out, so the resale market, it kind of goes both ways. And I think a lot of people in the hobby tend to forget that when they see a guy that may have, I'm sure when they see me with 48 retail boxes here on Monday, they're going to say, oh, what'd you do? Hit up every single Walmart in North and South Carolina? No. But, and so I think there's a line and there's a difference, that not necessarily you guys, but I think a lot of collectors kind of blur and don't really realize exactly what's going on.
Well, you're going to get death threats over those 48 boxes.
You will.
Be prepared. You might want to get some like a bodyguard or something.
I got Jude. He'll whoop some ass, man. My son's a badass. You should have seen him at soccer today, dude. He's playing with 6-year-olds and he ain't even 5. He's whooping that ass. I ain't worried about anybody. But anyway.
He's the hockey enforcer on the grass.
He is. Oh, hell yeah, son.
That's funny.
Oh, yeah, and by the way, guys, those retail tins that we talked about that were so incredibly amazing, you've got a Nico Horner, you've got 1 chrome, you've got a chrome of some really cool cards, and then a couple rookies. And
who is your decade's best?
Smoltzy in the 2000s.
Son of a gun. Okay.
Yeah.
But that's the thing is right now, my good buddy Philly Puck fan James on Twitter, he's like, right now you can get a complete set for $22.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
If you want to go grab your turkey red chromes of your favorite players, your favorite teams, use your $40 to do that.
All right. Well, we got a call real quick. Sorry, Tim. I'm gonna get right back.
That's Ben. But
I know. I meant to say Ben.
You skipped the coffee and went right to the bourbon this morning.
That's all right. If we got a caller, bring it.
Well, I'll put it this way: I skipped the coffee and went right to something else. But anyway, guys, if you can't find the Trouts or the Pete Alonsos, hit me up. I'll get them to you for cost. But anyway, we've got a caller. I'm excited to have this man on the line. I've wanted to have him on my show for a long time, but I'm actually really excited he's on this show first, and that is Mr. 1 Million Cubs himself. How's it going, man?
Hey, what's up, guys?
How's it going?
Doing well. This is a topic that I've been interested to share my opinions with. I was watching the Ben debate yesterday, and I'm kind of indifferent. I've been the guy that has scooped off a retail shelf, trying to flip. But I also been shaking his head. But I see both sides.
Yes.
Essentially, a couple years ago when Bowman Platinum was basically re-released.
Oh yes,
it was so hot you couldn't find it anywhere. Oh
my god, it was amazing! I remember that. Holy cow!
I bought. I couldn't find a whole shelf, but I bought 3 or 4 boxes looking to flip, and I'm on Facebook groups. I'm on eBay. Nobody's buying. Everybody's selling. But nobody's buying, and the price that you could flip them for, you're making $3 or $4 a box after shipping and any fees, whether it be PayPal or eBay. And if you're going to go from Target or Walmart and just drive to multiple stores, spend an entire day, all the gas, all your time, and just to make a few bucks a box, it's not worth it. And these tins are going to be the tins are the hot thing right now, and the tins are going to be restocked, and it's series 1 tops. There's going to be so many of these upon restocks that you're going to be able to get them for $10 by Black Friday. So I don't buy them at these outrageous prices.
Well, see, the funny thing is they literally have made this to where I'm looking at the back of it now. All of their exclusives aren't numbered, except for a couple of cards, which are the 5s and the 1s. So literally, they can produce this as much as they want. So these tins, for example, would be. I mean, I guarantee you see these tins when updates out, and you see lots of them. But anyway, back to
you have Heritage coming out next week, which is going to kill the Series 1 resale market.
Destroy it.
Right now, if you're a baseball collector, Series 1 is hot because there's nothing else to buy. And to Bo's point, basically, if you're going to go out and clear off a shelf of something that's not Optic or Prism or something that has a strong resale market, if you're going to go out and buy these tins today, understand more than likely you're going to get stuck with them. You might find somebody to buy them, and that's great. But odds are you have to go and buying them knowing, I mentioned that to my wife last night. I was like, if I buy these 10, let's say there were 10 tins for $150, I might make 300 minus, all of my associated fees and shipping costs. Now I'm down to
sell them now.
Right. If you sell them within the next 24, 48 hours,
I'm
like, but there's a good chance I got stuck with $150 worth of tins. I can't move.
No.
And I said, so it's just one of those things. If you are going to try to be in the free enterprise, buy them. If you're going to go out today, Bo, and try to clear off all your Walmarts,
I'm not.
I figured not. You'd be better off buying that local collection. But yeah, if you're going to buy them, just understand there's a good chance you'll get stuck with them.
Go ahead,
I think what's going on here is FOMO, fear of missing out. People are afraid, like, if I don't buy these, I might never see them again. And we talk about the Prism Optic. Some of the fallout from that is everyone thinks like this product or the next product is going to be of that ilk. And as the four of us probably can attest that's not going to be the case. But not everyone knows that or believes that. So everyone's trying to get it before someone else does, and I think it's a direct result of Prism, the Prism and optic effect. Is everyone just says this might be along those lines, even when it's not. And in these tins case, it's not. And Topps would have been. I know they did the decades parallel for the tins. It would have probably been better on their part if they made another parallel of the regular set, like the camo. You got the sky blue. If they would have did a tin exclusive color, if you will.
Absolutely.
Whatever that is, I don't know if there are any colors left, but if they could have find that when they have it done, made it exclusive to the tin, and then if someone's crazy enough or ambitious enough, hey, I want to put this parallel regular set together. Or if you're a team collector, Cubs, A's, hey, I need all the purple team A's or all the purple Cubs from the tins. I think that would have been probably a better play on Topps' part than the decade's best version.
That's a really good point. Yeah. Go ahead, Bo.
Yeah, I just have one thought. You can let me go.
Sure.
Kind of piggybacking on what Ben said just a moment ago, 24, 48 hours. These tins are going to have the resell if they are selling. The shelf life on a flip like this is shorter than a banana.
Yes.
Because some of my local stores here, they're stocked on Fridays. So a lot of these sales above retail price MSRP are because they're not hitting store shelves yet.
Right.
A lot of stores are stocked on Friday, Saturday. Now people are going out, whether they were stocked Friday or stocked even Saturday morning. Now they're going to be more plentiful, and there's just going to be more supply than obviously demand here in the next few days. So hey, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, hey Bo.
No, absolutely, man.
Real quick, Bo, who are you and where can we find you for anybody that doesn't know who you are yet?
Yes.
At 1 million Cubs, you can find me on Twitter there. I'm on Instagram, but not as much. There, Facebook, 1 million Cubs project. That about does it. 1millioncubs.net, my website.
Fantastic.
Awesome. Well, Bo, thanks so much for joining the show, for calling in. And guys, make sure you give him a follow on IG and Twitter. One of the best follows in the hobby. No, it's true. It's true, Ben. It's true. It's fun. Well, if you're not a Cubs fan, maybe not. But my son sings "Go Cubs Go" 24 hours a day, so I'm okay with it. He loves your feed, but thanks so much for joining us on the show, my man. Please feel free to call in anytime.
I appreciate it.
And he's one of the best traders in the hobby. So if you have Cubs, you go check out his blog and find out the trade we made years ago. 391 Cubs card for 1 A's card. It's a fun, fun read.
Nice. Well, Bud, thanks so much again, and have a good one.
Thank you. You too.
Yep.
Bo, have a good weekend.
Thanks.
All right, y'all. So it's that easy. It's that easy. You just click a link, you call right in. Bo's a great guy. I'm glad I finally know his name. You learn so many people's names off their Twitter handles. By the way, I've opened up a blaster now, and I've opened 2 packs, and I've already gotten 10 times better than that 10. So unless you plan on those tins being worth thousands of dollars, skip them.
It's funny with those tins, Drew. They actually. Walmart sold them on their website, and I actually went to buy a couple, and they were sold out quick. I don't know if they're going to put them back on the website. And I think people are going to buy the tins. Like I'd like an Alonso. I'm a Mets guy.
Sure.
I'd like to just have Alonso to keep even sealed and just throw it on my shelf and not to resell it necessarily, but just to keep it. And I think people are going to do that, obviously. With the other players too, like Ben said, if there was an ace, he would probably do something of the same, and so I think that's where later on, when all the hype settles down, I think you'll see stuff like that. It'll be a lot cheaper to do with then.
All right, y'all. So before we move on to a couple other things today, there's something that I've been kind of thinking about for a while now, and I wanted to bring it up on the show because I didn't talk about it much this week on the podcast, which drops here about an hour after the show ends. But hold on just 1 second. Yes. Okay. So when it hold on, my computer's freezing for just a moment. Ben, take over for just a minute, please.
Yeah, I don't know where Drew was going to go with that, but
yeah.
we could probably take a good time here, John. Why don't we had a really unfortunate situation that's developed over the last couple of months with a really good friend
yes.
of ours.
Yeah.
Jim Mahan. I think he's at Kentucky Cards. He's a big Duke fan, which is a ribbing.
No.
all
right. You fooled me for a minute. You got me. I went hook, line, and sinker.
When he pulled the Zion, I was like, man, the biggest Duke fan that the world knows pulling a Zion is gotta be great. And if you don't know Jim, he's one of the biggest Kentucky collectors. Some of the memorabilia the man has is just stupid, ridiculous, awesome. I mean, it's just like, are you kidding me? You've got that, and he's one of the most generous guys that we know. I'll let John go from here, but it was a really unfortunate situation, and man, if we can help Jim after you hear the story, if you're not familiar with it. So, John, why don't you take over and kind of explain what happened and where we're at now?
Yep, like Ben said, really good guy. Does a lot of stuff with charities. Doesn't even do it for notoriety. He's gotten some as he should, but he doesn't do it for those reasons. He's been on all three of our shows too, by the way, which is cool. Everyone knows about the 101 RJ Zion. He donated any monies raised to Cross North, a children's organization. That
right up near my hometown. Great school, right up near where I live. Wonderful school.
Yep. So he put it on eBay. The card initially sold in the first auction for $15K. The buyer bailed. He still, out of his own pocket, gave the $15K to Cross North because he felt like it's not their fault, and he gave them that money. He then relisted the card on eBay. On the second run through it went for $6,500, and the buyer paid. And again, I hope he calls in if he's happened to be listening. I send him a message if he wanted to jump in. He shipped this card via UPS. It apparently never made it to its destination. It didn't get, like if we've all shipped with tracking, it'll say delivered. It never got to that stage. The card is who knows where, and that's why we're talking about this. He obviously filed a claim with the United Parcel Service for the $6,500. He actually refunded the buyer even before the claim settled with UPS. He actually paid Cross North with $6,500. So they got $22,000 or somewhere around there. And now he's going up against, I don't want to say against, but he's dealing with UPS to get that recovered. I don't think there's major issues. It's just, you got to jump through the proper hoops and fill out the proper paperwork.
Right.
And now he's basically asked, now this card, no one knows where it is. It obviously it appears somebody, on surface value maybe took this and has kept it. Whether they're keeping it with never plans to try to move it themselves and put money in their pocket, that only they know. But, if anyone sees this card listed or, you're at a show and it's in a showcase, I mean, it's probably not the brightest thing, honestly, to list it on an eBay or public site. I think you're going to get discovered. Let's hope someone does that because it'll be easy to find them. But you're more likely probably to see this case through back channels at a show or someone trying to sell it person to person. So if anyone sees this card trying to be transacted, get a hold of Jimmy Mahan. Kentucky basketball cards on Instagram and Kentucky cards on Twitter. Let him know if you see it or if you have any leads or tips or you even hear anything.
All right. Well, yes, just like John said, guys, please do that. Jimmy is an amazing person. I'm actually scheduled to talk to him a little bit more this afternoon. Hopefully we have a little bit more of an update for you soon, but please watch for this card. But we do have a call on the line right now. Looks like it is Ian. So, Ian, welcome to the show. Oh, and he disappeared. Ian, call back, buddy. We wanted you on the show.
He found out what we pay people to come on the show.
Yeah,
quickly.
James Hummel said. James,
like,
before we move back on to what I wanted to talk about earlier, James Hummel says, "Love for you guys to do a show about online products like Tops Now, Living Set, Throwback Thursday, Panini Instant, etc." Well, James, that's really funny you mentioned that because what I was about to say before my computer started to freeze a little bit is that, I wanted to talk about an actual retail release that happens, or a non-regular release, so to speak, a different method of distribution. And that is, of course, the Fanatics Optic exclusive boxes that were just released just recently. Now, when many people saw them, you assumed you got the five green wave prisms and that's it. But Fanatics switched it up on us unannounced and put every single card in the entire base set a wave, like a silver waved card, adding even more value to what we normally would expect to get. These Fanatic sets and stuff like these, when you see these, what do you guys think about them? Because to me, when I'm looking at the value that's in these sets that you're actually able to pre-order and purchase them, the resale value is through the roof. They're coming up with some really good parallels now that are incredibly low pop. I mean, what do you guys think about these? Is it as Fanatics as, slowly dip their toes into the water as opposed to StockX who just, dove in, and I don't even know if they've come up for air yet, but Fanatics has dipped their toes in, a couple of times now. What do you guys think about this latest Fanatics release and Optic in general and what they're doing with these releases?
It's smart. I mean, they're going to sell out. This set you're talking about in particular is what almost over $300 now, a secondary. So if you bought it, you bought it at $80, you're 400% profit, if ROI, if you will. And so this is the stuff like the Prism and Optic that's going to spark people just buying stuff impulsively. But it's like the Montgomery 582, which I'm gonna be honest with you, I wasn't in the first year. I'm in now, and they're gonna, that set. They're gonna at the end of the year, they're gonna give you the Tops Series 1 and 2 with the Montgomery 582 logo, and people resell those and literally pay for their membership with the sell value of that. Other people will break it open and sell either team sets or the individual star cards. Obviously a Jordan Alvarez Montgomery 582 is probably going to, unless he has a really terrible year, that card's going to carry some secondary market value. And so people are going to be looking for that. I'm assuming Ben is probably going to want the A set from that, and who, Bo with the Cubs and other people who do certain teams, they're gonna try to get those, and that's what's going to happen. And so how can you're going to see some other, if you will, non-card companies try to get into the stuff and get these exclusives and parallel type stuff. I don't think we've seen the last of it. I think this may just be
No.
the beginning.
No, it's going to be hard because I mean, you have, in our hobby, you have an oligopoly, right? With exclusives within, which is tough because even though we can look to other oligopolies like the auto industry or the beverage industry, where your top 3 or 4 or 5 companies own the industry, and if you want to get in, it's tough. Now, the thing with like something like Fanatics, where something like say Onyx is going to fail or not have the same pull as Fanatics already has a huge thumbprint. In the sports memorabilia market, so they can kind of come in with their Thor hammer and say, "Look, we're here now." They've got money, they've got name recognition, they've got all kinds of stuff that a smaller startup doesn't have. Fanatics decided that they were going to branch out and do like a graded, we're going to start a grading company and compete with BGS and PSA. Okay, they've got the money, they've got the name recognition, they've got all the things going for them that if the 3 of us got together and said we're going to do it, okay, well, that's going to take forever for us to get off the ground if it ever happened. We might run out of capital before we even get our first customer. So I think it's brilliant. Why not try something like that? And if they can use their heavyweight status to become another player inside of an oligopoly, fantastic, because what it's going to do is end up pushing some of these exclusives out the back door when more money is involved at the corporate level, and Major League Baseball can say, you know what, this year-over-year exclusive deal with Topps isn't as financially beneficial for us as it used to be. Let's open up the doors and let Panini back in, let Fanatics in, maybe let somebody like Leaf in or Upper Deck.
Yeah, I hope so.
Hey, Josh, real quick, I see your comment here. We got a caller. We have a couple of times. Josh, if you'd like to call in as well, we can take your 2 calls and then we'll sign off. But James, welcome to the show, my man. Thanks for calling in.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Can you guys hear me all right?
Absolutely perfect.
Great. Yeah, so I was the one that commented about the online products.
Sure.
The other one that the online product that really took off was Topps Chrome Sapphire.
Yes. And continues to take off.
Yeah, it still continues to sell well. Granted, it seems Blowout ended up with 90% of the product, but
yes,
that's a whole other discussion
that we will be having soon.
Yeah, but that product took off, and then with the Bowman, the Bowman Draft Sapphire, right? That was another one that sold out quickly. But the Montgomery members were able to buy that ahead of time of everybody else.
Correct.
There was a lot of mess with that too, but it seems that these online products they don't. I don't know if Topps is doing a good job of fairly distributing the products to people. Like I tried myself to get a hold of the Chrome Sapphire, and I got the thing sold out within seconds. Right. Which again questions how much was actually available to the public. And I look at things that Panini are doing with the Dutch auction, right, where they're starting at a price and slowly bringing it down until it sells out. Is that something that Topps needs to do with Sapphire Chrome, right, or some of the other Bowman products that are going to be made available through Montgomery, right, or eventually made available?
Well, I think we're at a time where, honestly, when it comes to stuff like this, these high-valued things, these things that we know are going to be worth so much, I think we're just in a time where you're going to see all this stuff start to change. Because let's be honest, National Treasures boxes, we just talked about the Jimmy instance. People he's known for a long time in Cary. I live near Cary. I know the people at that post office. I looked at the employees. 2 of them have been working there since I was in college. You never know where stuff's going these days. I think there's almost extra added security that you're going to see popping up when it comes to some of these cards. Now, not for Series 1, Heritage, stuff like that, but when you get to these major cards, I can easily see. I mean, I think that's somewhere where we're headed as this hobby, evolves more and we go more towards the technological side. Now, in terms of distribution, that's a conversation that I would absolutely love for this entire panel one week that I'm on to discuss, because distribution in my eyes is one of the second biggest issue in the hobby. The first is Cardamundi. After that is distribution. And I would love to hear y'all's takes, and we'll tease this for next week. We can discuss distribution, but on just the general idea of, these alternative methods like Fanatics, StockX, the blockchain, quote unquote blockchain system, all these alternative methods that are coming out now. I think this is just the tip of the iceberg on that retrospect. So that is something I'd like to discuss here in the near future as well.
Yep. And with the Dutch auction, that works.
Yes.
When there's full transparency. But what makes me nervous with any kind of Dutch auction situation, StockX, for example, I don't know if I trusted that process. You don't know what's going on behind the scenes, shill bidders.
Listen to my episode with Brian Gray a couple episodes ago, and he'll tell you pretty much exactly what happened with that StockX initial offering. It's shocking.
That StockX, that was definitely, there was definitely some other things going on behind the scenes that they haven't really made clear. Whereas with the Panini Dutch auctions, I think there's a lot of transparency there, and
there
it seems to be working well for them.
It does. All right, well, thanks so much for the call, man, this week. We've got one more caller on the line we're going to get to. We're running a little overboard this week.
One thing real quick on James's point, we had Hobby Legend Suze, formerly of Topps, on our Sunday showcase last week, and she made a good point that we all can agree with. When there's online exclusives, obviously Topps Living, Topps Now, Panini Instant, all these products are available to everybody, although on a finite amount of time. But when we're talking about exclusives that are only for the Montgomery Club members, or things like Dutch auctions, and one thing to keep in mind is not every product that is made is for everyone. That doesn't mean you can't collect. You can't collect it on the secondary. I collect everything A's I can touch. Like to John's point, I'm going to get the Montgomery set, whether I'm buying it from John because he opened it up and he's like, Ben, I'll give you all the A's for, a $20 bill or, $30 bill, depending on how many are in the set. Top Sapphire, I was able to get from my good friend Matt, once a Cub. There's so many different things that we can collect on the secondary, but at least at the initial offering, whether it's Series 1 tins off the Walmart shelf or something, done at a Dutch auction and everything in between, understand not every product is meant for everybody to collect. There are people that collect Big League Baseball on opening day. There are people that collect Prism. There are people that are going to go out there and pop for a Zion 1 of 1 and all these silver Prism parallels that are highly sought after. That are going to want all the short prints of Yordan Alvarez. And then there's going to be people out there that are just going to collect what they like. Or they're going to collect their favorite player, their favorite team. Our friend Ken Kinsley loves guys that went to his college. You want a guy that's from Brooklyn because that's where John grew up, or he wants everything Steelers. There's no right or wrong, but understand not everything's for you. Not everything's for me. Not everything's for us. Let somebody else buy it at the initial price point, and then gobble up what you want on the secondary market. And, it's easy to get frustrated. I do it all the time. It's really easy to get frustrated when you can't get what you want in a hobby, which is literally, what's the definition of a hobby? Something we do for fun and leisure. It's not supposed to be stressful. People garden, right? Gardening, people rebuild cars.
No.
People paint, all kinds of stuff. It's a hobby. It's supposed to be done as a form of catharticism, right? To relax.
And I will say for I gotta go lower. 70 to 75% of those people, you're correct. But there's also plenty of people that I know that I've seen bitch and moan in these Facebook groups. I've been in them for 6 years now. I've gotten to know people whether they know me or not. Adminning scammers and adminning so many groups, I pay attention to just about anyone that deals in these rooms. 99% of these people are bitching. They're bitching because they didn't get there first. Right. And that's where, obviously not everyone's like that, but that's where a lot of the complaint goes in. Well, yes, I wanted to be the one that got to pull the $700 card to sell for $20. I'm not paying $40 for that same chance. Well, tough shit.
Drew got that tin that he can sell for 3x, and Ben didn't because his Walmart. You're pissed off because you didn't get the profit. I think James is a fellow collector, and he was probably upset because he didn't get some to open. Maybe
right, exactly. No, James, yes, 100%. Yeah, I'm speaking on that other. There is that other side of those people that are just pissed because they missed out and are ranting and raving and flipping on social. And CRT sports cards, so sorry. I know it is early on the West Coast. That's something that we discussed and something that we may continue to discuss.
But Chris is just upset because he's a Mariners fan. So
well then, yeah, dude, I feel for you, bro. At least your farm system always has hope. I mean, I'm a Marlins fan, so I can't say much, but I kind of got lucked out because my son became a Cubs fan. And so now that my son is a Cubs fan, I can at least cheer for the Cubs. So that's
even a Mets fan can laugh when they hear Marlins. Like that's one of the few teams.
Of course they can. It's the fucking
Marlins.
Marlins.
My man Jared Kalanick with the Mets got robbed.
They did, and you had to overpay for Cano and Edwin Diaz's ERA of almost 6.
Yeah. Can we have a mulligan on Brody's dumbassery from last year?
Did we have another caller that wanted to hop in?
Yeah, he said he had to run, so he's going to call back next week. So, guys, I guess that's going to wrap it for episode 3. As you guys have noticed, we've got 3 of us now. We are going to focus, I think, just so you guys maybe don't get as confused and you can get a little more input from all of us each week as opposed to fighting for so much. I think we may be leaving it at 3, obviously, with 2 or 3 guests at a time. Hey, if a guest calls in and says something and you'd like to debate them on the air, we'll pull you on too.
Yeah,
be my guest. We can all talk.
It's a Royal
Rumble. This shit. I'll rap about as fair as Shawn Michaels and a Triple H Undertaker match. So I mean, you guys, you have nothing to worry about. But thank y'all so much.
Yeah. One last thing, we want to encourage everybody week in, week out that this is not our show. It really is a show for all the listeners, and we are going to try to have a topic or 2 or 3, like we wanted to touch on the tins and mention Jimmy's plight to try to get his card back. But ultimately, James calls in, he wants to pivot to something completely different. Fantastic. This is your show. Let's talk about whatever under the sun's going on in your world, even if it's something from you want to talk about the Dak Prescott auto pen from years ago. Let's do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, if anyone else doesn't have anything, John, anyone got anything before we bounce out here?
I just want to piggyback right off what Ben said. This is the listener show. Whatever they want to talk about, they're the directors. Come on. Well, I don't think anyone involved in the show, podcaster wise, is shy. So you're not going to make any of us speechless. And so we'll get some good banter and some good dialogue on whatever the hobby topic might be.
And if you're in the Syracuse area, apparently you can eat a Brooklyn pickle.
Yes, and guys, please, if there's a topic that you would like to hear us discuss on air and you don't maybe you don't feel comfortable calling in or anything along those lines, but you would like to hear the topic discussed and maybe some other people talk about it and give opinions, simply shoot any of us or any of our pages a line. We'll be happy to discuss it. Like I said, this show is for you.
Yeah,
but
if you're following us on social media, which we hope you are, we're going to try to tweet out who's available, like who the next hosts will be of next week's show, or a couple weeks in advance as we get the schedule going, because we really want the show, as it continues to grow, if there's a specific topic you want to speak to with a specific host, we want you to know what weekend that person's going to be on so that you can call in, because we all have different levels of expertise. You know, when Doug and Dan come on from Mojo, I think they're going to be slated a couple times in March. Great time to call in if you're looking to get into the breaking arena as a breaker, or if you're not sure, you've never bought into a break, and you know, how do I go about it? What's a random versus a pick your team? Doug and Dan are the experts there. They're going to be fantastic guys. You'll want to call in that week versus this week. We can answer them.
They're scheduled next week, just while we're talking about
fantastic. So yeah, if you have any questions about breaking as a breaker or a breakee, call next week and talk to the boys, because they're great guys, and we want to make sure you guys are following the schedule as we update it, so you make sure you're talking to the right person or persons
that you need to be talking to.
And remember, we're not experts any more than anybody. We're here to learn just as much as we can educate. You know, we all like to think we know everything. Some of us more than others.
Yes,
but
that's true.
And this is a great collaboration of like minds, because we're all collectors. We love the hobby, and that's why we want to bring the show out to everybody.
That we do. Well, guys, thank y'all so much for joining us for episode 3. I believe I will be back for episode 4. I believe so. I know I have the following week off for my little man. I can't believe he turns 5. This is freaking crazy.
When's his birthday?
His birthday is the 4th, but his party is the 7th.
Gotcha. Bentley's birthday. Bentley turns 6 on March 1st next Sunday. So
nice. Well, happy early birthday to Bentley as well. But y'all, thank you so much. We love doing this show. It's literally so much fun, and love having you guys call in. I've loved seeing the numbers we've seen today. So it's only going to get better. We're going to have nicer graphics, intro videos, all types of stuff coming your way very soon. So stay tuned as we work through a couple of the kinks. But for myself, for Mr. Newman, and for Mr. Ben, my name's Drew. See y'all later.